Sky Sports coverage of the European Tour is in association with Scottish Life, the pension company. Sky Sports with Scottish Life, the pension company, bringing you winning performers.
This is the final round of the Turespaña Masters from Parador, the oldest golf course in Spain. It was designed and built for royalty. It will celebrate its 75th anniversary next year, and the locals have appreciated the almost regal presence of Miguel Angel Jimenez. An Italian V12, Rosso, of course, to deliver him to the course this morning. He can park where he likes. With Eduardo, his Argentinian caddy, a few putts, just to get the feel. Putting perfected, off to the range. We've had plenty of rain here, quite soggy down there in the trees. Rain every night for the last 3 nights. 25 minutes of work through the bag. Everything in working order. And Jimenez ready to play. So preparations completed, body and mind nice and loose and relaxed. You know, even Eduardo, his Argentine caddy, has his Sunday best on today, and he had a shave knowing he was going to get some TV time. We'll see if it's going to be a walk in the park for his boss, Miguel Angel Jimenez, today. But this is the first tee shot. Farid already down there. Garrido, a little bit of trouble on the right, but it is a pickup hole. The individual swing of Miguel Angel Jimenez, the first ball has flown right down the middle. I mean, you couldn't have dissected that any better with a protractor. You know, it's deja vu, really, as the crowds make their way down this first hole. We were in Santa Ponsa in Mallorca last year, and it was Jimenez by 2. He enjoyed the company of Santiago Luna on that occasion. He would go on to win the Trophy Longcomb in September by 2 from Turner, Sandlin, Duval, and O'Meara, no less. And he is unbackable today. In round 3, he started eagle, birdie, birdie. And what a strike at the par 5 16th. That took him to 18 under par. And he birdied the short par 4 17th. He needed to up and down at the last for a course record. A 2.5-foot short, quite superb. A magnificent round of 62. And Miguel Angel Jr. was there to offer the most valued prize, a big fat hug. Jimenez starts 5 clear of 4 classy players. Ignacio Garrido and Mark Farid played together in round 3, both carded 66s. Steve Webster, 3rd behind Else at Houghton in January, had a 67. Ryder Cupper and local resident Per Ulrich Johansson had a round of 68. They all need a fast start to exert some pressure on Jimenez. 4 players at 13 under par, and encouraging to see Roger Chapman hitting the ball and enjoying his golf once again. Richard Boxall was in line for a good check. He was 6th reserve last Monday, 1st reserve on Wednesday, and eventually got in. He's with Per Nyman today, and Bob May, who's very much looking forward to seeing his family in Las Vegas and touring Arizona by motorbike with his father over the next few weeks. Strong season already for Bob, 5 top 10s in 7 starts. But this is the day for Miguel Angel Jimenez. I had a word with him on the range a couple of hours ago. It's funny, isn't it, how everybody thinks that you're going to win this tournament. But you're the man who has to go and hit the shots in the final round. It's not that easy.
No, it's never easy to win a tournament. For sure, well, I got a 5-stroke difference, and probably is enough. And just need to play golf and to enjoy myself on the golf course, and happens.
You're not thinking too much about your third round 62, are you? Because sometimes maybe it's difficult to follow such a round of golf. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, well, I tried to learn things today.
Same.
Well, I when I wake up this morning, I say, why you don't make 61 today? I say, okay, now.
Did you leave? Did you leave?
Feet on the ground.
Did you leave some shots out there in that 62? No.
Uh-huh.
You didn't leave any shots out there, did you? You couldn't have been better, could it?
Yes.
Could? Where?
And yeah, there's a couple of birdies missed yesterday also.
There was one par 5 you didn't eagle.
You know, when you make it under par,
yeah.
you know, always you can make more under par. When you make over par, always you can make more over par also, you know?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
That's the golf. No, but I'm very happy yesterday for the result. Yesterday I played so good yesterday, everything is perfect. No.
Just another day at the office.
Another day at the office.
Now, last year we saw you dancing around at Santa Ponsa, hugging and kissing Santi Luna.
Yeah.
Maybe this time hugging and kissing Garrido, or would you prefer Mark Ferry at the end?
Both of them. We'll make a trio. Probably on the green.
Best of luck today, Miguel.
Thank you.
Jimenez is the 5th of 7 brothers. You've got to pity his poor mother. Incidentally, if your partner's wives or girlfriends are giving you a hard time today, fellas, it's because it's Mother's Day. So when you go down and get the papers in a few minutes' time and take a break from our coverage, if you dare, get some flowers as well, OK? So happy Mother's Day to my Marlene down there in Taunton, and to Sophia, my wife, as well. Right, let's get up to date with the progress of Jimenez. It's only about, what, 40, 45 minutes old. Steve, how's he getting on? Good afternoon to you.
He's going pretty well. You know, he's playing with Garrido and Farry, who are good buddies and played together yesterday. And my guess, Warren, is it's going to need their combined better ball score to get close to Jimenez today. But you don't think this is over just yet?
Well, I don't. I mean, he looks pretty relaxed out there, Jimenez, but of course he'll want to try and do well to get some more points. Probably move up to second in the Ryder Cup tables.
He will if he wins, that's for sure. Second to the first, and everybody's going to be a little nervous on the first tee, but the drive dissected the fairway, and I think for Miguel, anticipation rather than apprehension. What a start that would have been. Once had an albatross in the Volvo Masters, the 17th of Volvo at Valderrama, and he played that hole in 7 under par for the week, and certainly the par 5s have been a key. He started with an eagle yesterday. Goodness, what a weekend.
Well, if he thought there might have been signs of nerves, he dispelled that straight away on the first hole. Cracking way to start.
Second to the first. Interestingly, he wore a gold shirt last week. I think it was last year at Santa Ponsa. I think when he won the Long Com, it was a green shirt. So no superstitions, but he's certainly in the pink with that second shot to the second hole. Now, if there is to be a weakness, if he is to offer a glimmer of hope to his rivals, the putter will have to be cold, and not making that one. And still at 21 under. So to the third. Again, peppering the pin. This is for birdie. Well, there we are. Not quite as good as yesterday. He picked up 4 shots in the first 3 holes, but 22 under after just 3 holes. I don't know what's going to stop him. It's the start, Andrew Castle, that Miguel, your pro-am partner, would have dreamed of.
Yeah, we've got to know him, really, haven't we? I mean, we saw him at the Trophy Longcomb last year, playing the shot of the year to keep those boys behind him. Was it Turner, Sandlin and Duval and O'Meara? But we've become pretty friendly with him as a team over here, and he really is in his element. He only lives 5 minutes away. I'm pleased that he's going so well, and I think he'll be a very valued member of our Ryder Cup team. Of course, he was one of Seve's lieutenants last time out. But how on earth, Phil Parkin, do you play with him? That's the task facing Mark Ferry and Ignacio Garrido today. I suppose you just got to make the birdies when they can, but he looks impregnable at the moment. This is too big a lead, surely, Phil.
Well, he's just playing so well. I think he's second in hitting fairways this week. He's hit more greens than anyone else, and the way he started off today, it's difficult to see anyone beating him. But I will say one thing. Last week, I I think he was in about 6th place with about 8 holes to go, and he dropped 7 shots in the next 3 holes. But I'm sure that is far from his mind right now, because he looks as though he's oozing confidence at the moment.
Phil, it's living proof, really, that you don't need to follow a textbook entirely. This is a very individual swing, isn't it? When he takes it back, you take me through the swing. What's going on with that, you know, taking it back at this angle?
Well, last year he tried to take it back a little bit straighter, and obviously this year he's gone back to his old way. It really does come so far on the inside, and then he comes over it, coming down into the ball, but is actually still on the inside of the path. And you know, from the top, coming into it, he's actually in a really good position. But the only thing you need to do in golf is actually repeat something, and he certainly can repeat this swing.
And Ignacio Garrido, how's he playing? Second round 63 got his season going. He hasn't had a great season so far, has he?
No, not really. He's a little bit wild off the tee. I think he got away with it yesterday. He's holding quite a few putts. If he could hit the fairways today off the tee and keep putting the same way, he could make a few birdies, but whether he could actually challenge is questionable.
OK, thanks very much for the moment, Phil. We'll catch up with Tim Barter, who's out with Checker, Johansson and Webster, the penultimate group, out 10 minutes before that final group. We'll catch up with Tim in just a few moments' time. Now, you'll forgive us for focusing so heavily on Miguel Angel Jimenez so much, but there are other players out there on the course, and everyone still thinks there's a big check at the end of the day, whether or not they can win. Surely, Steve Beddoe, get us up to date.
Indeed, you're absolutely right, Andrew, and there have been 65s galore, plenty of 66s. It's going to be another low-scoring day, so let's take a look at the early challenges. And the Frenchman, Raphael Jacquelin, has been improving day by day, a lower score round by round. He started with a birdie. This was for a 3 at the second. 24-year-old, second season on tour, made a check last week. His first of the year after 4 missed cuts. But he's an elegant swinger of a club, as you can see with this second to the third.
8th in the driving stats this week, and pretty good from tee to green, as we saw that little approach shot to the 3rd hole. Give him another birdie.
3 in a row. Could he make it 4? Remember, he's coming out of the pack, began at 12 under. So 7 shots behind, but closing fast. Now, the halfway leader was Frederick Lindgren, who crashed to a 75 yesterday and out of the picture. But this has been a better day so far for the Swede. Tee shot at the 6th. He started with an eagle, made birdies at 3 and 4.
Quite a tough pin placement on the 6th hole on the front edge, right corner. Classy shot, though, from Lindgren, and good to see him bouncing back so quickly.
And he scores to the turn in 29, 6 under par. Per-Ulrik Johansson, a couple of bogeys yesterday, hit his chances. But after a birdie at the 3rd, he added a 2nd. And perhaps looking for 2nd place, who knows. Steve Webster has struggled on the front 9. He's level par over the first 3 rounds. It's the back 9 that he gets his round going. Could today be different? It needs to be.
Terrific shot by Steve, renowned for his length, but showing good short game form there.
2nd to the 4th.
Hardest hole on the course, the 4th, been all week.
So 3 birdies in 4 holes for Steve Webster. At the end of it, it's still looking like it did yesterday. Miguel Angel Jimenez, he's only dropped 3 shots all week long with a 5-shot lead, but the pack are closing in, and well, if Jimenez were to slip, who knows who would come through. Webster in 2nd place, Jacquelin, Johansson sharing 3rd, Ricardo Gonzalez going well. Steady start for Garrido and Farry. Lindgren back into the top 10. It's an afternoon of possibilities. Much will depend on Jimenez, of course. Alex Jake would have hoped to be a little closer. Well, time, I think, to go out onto the course. It's very still out there. Conditions a little overcast. That's a good day for definition of the shot that you've got to hit. And the leader, 2nd to the 4th.
See, you never know in this game what's going to happen. Watched him on the practice ground, Jimenez. Does hit a lot of good quality shots. We've said that, but occasionally can get a little cross line, and he leaves it away to the right. Good example there on 4.
This is Jacqueline for birdie at 6, a par at 5, so the birdie run came to an end, and well, if he is to get close to Jimenez, those have got to go in. He's looking for his first top 10 on the European Tour. A solid first season last year, but a slow start to 99. It's a big week, a big afternoon for the Frenchman. Well, we saw the first 3 approach shots absolutely take out the bin. That one pushed a little bit. Phil Parkins out there. Phil, what was that? Not a particularly good swing, or was it just a fraction out?
Well, he can't hit everything perfect, can he, Steve? He's pretty much done it all week, hit everything fantastic, but once in a while you're going to hit a bad one, and that was just one of those times.
How's the ball lying in the bunker, Phil? Is it a pretty good lie? It's got a 100% record out of Sam this week. Mind you, he's only been in 1 bunker.
Yeah, he's got a good lie. He's got plenty of green to work with. And Mark Farrey's right next to him. He can show him the way first.
Yeah, Farrey with a birdie at the first and 2 pars since then. Same for Garrido.
Well, Mark Farrey's just missed the last 2 greens with only a sand iron in his hand. He's getting up and down every time. Wouldn't surprise me if he did it here as well.
Kind of firmish bounce out of that sand. The greens are pretty moist. We've focused on that already with the overnight rain. I wonder whether that's going to feature in this man's mind now. He watched Farrey's ball come out the trap.
There wasn't a lot of sand in that bunker. I think that's what happened with Mark Farrey's.
But this is Jimenez's home course. He knows it very well. He will know there's not too much sand in there and react accordingly. An excellent recovery. Maybe 2 out of 2. So Johansson playing in the match ahead. He's had 2 birdies already, playing with Steve Webster and Alex Chaker. And again, that just through. So really, Andrew, something spectacular has got to happen elsewhere on the course if the Spaniard is to be caught.
I was just thinking that. Per Ulrich Johansson birdies 2 of the first 4 and really stays where he is. That's the sort of day it is today. Now, Per Ulrich, local man, of course, 35 minutes down the road. He's playing with Stevie Webster and Alex Chaker today. Chaker has been so consistent this year, but there are 1 or 2 problems with his putting. I don't know whether it's a technique thing or not, but Tim Barter's out there on the course. Tell me about Alex Chaker's putting, because everything else, Tim, it's perfect, isn't it? He hits lots of greens in regulation, lots of fairways.
Yes, he does. He was #1 in the rankings last year as far as greens in regulation were concerned, but today's an example of his putting. He's missed 3 times already from inside 6 feet. 1 at the eagle opportunity at the first, and then a short one at the third for a birdie, and another one at the last for a par. So his technique really, and confidence as well. He has his caddy lining up the putter for him. I don't like to see that. It looks as though the player's going to struggle to maintain any sort of feel when they stand still for that long.
Yeah, that's Julian with him, isn't it? And it's Max back with Per Ulrich Johansson. He does a little bit of work on the range with him as well. It's a sort of a coach-caddy deal? Or?
Yes, Max obviously watches Scott Cranfield, Per Ulrich Johansson's coach, work with him, and then can advise Per when Scott's not around. Scott's gone home for the week now, and Per really needs him. He's hitting the ball quite poorly today, although he's made 2 birdies in the first 4. This is the first fairway he hit, and when he did hit it, he threw his arms in the air in celebration. And
just tell me one thing. Steve Webster, little guy, hits it miles. How do you do that?
Well, Steve's got wonderful technique. He's very strong in his arms as well, his forearms, although they don't look that big. He is very strong. Great technique, lovely unwind of the body, holds the wrist angle a long time and then lets it fly at the ball. It's fantastic, and he's playing absolutely beautifully today. He's made 3 birdies in the first 4 and really immaculate golf.
Yes, and We'll head out to the 5th green. Tim Barter is down there. That was just a delightful little chip over the bunker at the short 3rd, but a pretty long putt, Tim, eh?
Yes, this one up the tier, Andrew. This is the first fairway Steve's missed. Just dragged it off to the left-hand side and wasn't quite sure how the ball would react out of the rough. So took enough club that would get him to the front of the green. If he did get the flyer, he'd get it up to that back flag. But now an awkward one up the tier.
Just a little bit to do, and talking of letting things fly, we are under the takeoff flight path at Malaga Airport, so it's going to be a little noisy at times. Bear with us. It's just a preparation warm-up ready for the Spanish Open, which is right by Barcelona Airport.
These are the sort of putts that Garrido will need to hold to threaten fellow countrymen. And he's got one. I'll tell you what, Jimenez can't afford to sit on his laurels.
It's Garrido who held the course record for just a day.
This came up a little short. Johansson actually got to a place where he could see the Sky Sports coverage on a highlights and watched his own swing yesterday and thought, well, that looks pretty good, Max, actually. Why am I not playing better? Seemed to be all right.
A little tester for Miguel.
It's not outside the hole. He missed one on the 2nd from only about 4 feet.
Nicely done. He's 4th in the Ryder Cup points table at the moment. If he does win, he will go above Lee Westwood and Darren Clark, who missed the cut here, into 2nd behind Colin Montgomery.
Seventh hole, coming out of the trees now, going into that part of the course which becomes a little linksy in look and feel. This hole not quite as dangerous today as it was yesterday. A much stiffer breeze coming from the east into the players' faces. You can see by that flag. Pretty calm. And just a short iron pitch for Jacqueline.
And of course the heavy overnight rain means the course once again has been dampened down. It's Jimenez to lose, you feel, at the moment, a 5-shot cushion, but everybody else is trying their darndest to get close, and 1 or 2 are not so far away. Steve Webster going well. Per Ulrich Johansson should get up and down from the back of 5. Garrido making a barnstorming putt at the 4th to announce his arrival as a challenger again. Lindgren going well a little further down the course. Elsewhere, Alex Jacobs, as you heard from Tim, just not making the putts, and that's the one thing you have to do around this course. Ian Garbutt, a mixed start, a couple of birdies, a couple of bogeys. Fredrik Jakobsen is going extremely well, 7 under for his final round with 3 holes to play. And Jamie Spence at 9 under with 6 to play. And elsewhere, spoke to Rolf Muntz this morning, said a 58 should do it. That's the sort of standard that Miguel Angel Jimenez has set. But in golf, you never know, and there's lots more excitement to come. Importantly made that. That takes him into 2nd place on his own, 17 under, 5 under today, and 5 behind.
And a big test for him coming up now. As you say, not made a top 10. Biggest check is only £12,000. What he can't afford to think of is the glory and the money over the last 10.
Mark Farris had a couple of birdies at this 6 over the previous 3 rounds. And every chance, 3 out of 4.
Did so well last year in front of his home crowd in the French Open, finished 6th. That was his only top 10 last year. I never think it's easy playing in front of local support. Adds that little bit of extra pressure.
Now, Ignacio Garrido hasn't played the par threes particularly well. He's just level par on the short holes for the week.
Almost looked to be a big 8-iron, that. And I think we've got one in the front bunker. I think he was trying to force that with the flag on the front.
Now Miguel Angel Jimenez can step onto the tee with some degree of confidence. 3 2s out of 3 so far. Getting warmer. The short sleeve, or the sleeveless pullover, has come off.
The wind has just changed direction, brought a little bit of warmth, like you said, Steve. This is going to be the easiest of all the par threes so far today. 166 yards, 7-iron.
Could be 4 out of 4, quite remarkable. But Miguel Angel Jimenez and Per-Orik Johansson, the 2 class acts, the 2 proven winners in our front runners, and we got Dr. Golf, Tim Barter, into the commentary box a little earlier to compare their swings.
Our leader, Miguel Angel Jimenez, yesterday shot 62 in a quite marvellous display of golf. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how does he have such a lot of success with such a poor swing? In truth, his swing isn't poor. Yes, it's unorthodox. Yes, the club gets out of position on the way back. But at the moment of truth, at impact, the club is travelling in the right direction and face square to the target line. Let's compare his swing to that of Per-Orik Johansson, known as one of the most orthodox swingers in the world. Set-up positions very similar. Excellent posture for both players. Perhaps a little bit more flex in the knees for Per. As Per swings it back, we can see there an absolutely picture-perfect takeaway. The shaft of the club parallel to the target line and his toes simultaneously. But for Miguel, the club moves behind him more quickly. You can just see the head appearing behind his heel line. As Per moves on to the top of the swing, once again, extremely orthodox. The shaft pointing a little left of target, but that's acceptable with it being shorter parallel at the top. For Miguel, having gone back so much on the inside to begin with, the shaft points to the right of the target, what we call across the line. A little bit more hip turn for Miguel as well. As they start down, we'll see Johansson beginning his downswing with the left knee, hip and shoulder all rotating, unwinding, setting the club down into an absolutely perfect plane. See how the shaft is pointing directly at the ball. Miguel compensates for that inside downswing by looping the club over and actually hitting a very similar position halfway down. So now the comparison much more similar. Per moves on into impact. The body continues to unwind, the wrist uncocking the club and producing it absolutely squarely to his target line. And the same for Jimenez. Look now how similar they are. The right foot a little closer to the ground, sure, but other than that, very, very similar techniques. Per through to a nice balance finish, and so too for Miguel. So, 2 very different ways of getting to the top of the backswing, but some striking similarities on the way down. Miguel Angel Jimenez holding the lead here, and he's proving it's not how, it's how many.
And then there's putting. Yes, interesting stuff from Tim there. Second shot for Johansson into the 7th. Can he launch a challenge?
Just an 8-iron from under 150 yards. And using that swing to good effect to give him a chance to make a birdie.
On the 9th, where Thomas Gergler actually 3-putted, took bogey 4 out in 32 and at 14 under.
213 yards today, the 9th hole. Pin getting tucked further and further back to the left corner, and not an easy breeze for the players. A little bit left to right, so a long medium iron.
Yeah, the PGA officials have tried to get 1 or 2 tricky pin placings out there, quite close to the edge. 1 or 2 quite close to the greens. But it's almost some sort of defence for the course against this onslaught from these players. They have to leave each pin at least 3 paces from the edge of the green, and 1 or 2 are quite close to just the 3 yards or so.
Well, Jimenez is staying very aggressive, even with this big lead. This for yet another birdie.
There we are there. It's a full house. What a way to play a par 3. 2, 2, 2, 2. And I tell you what, he's got the extra gum. He's birdied that every day as well.
Yes, thoughts go back to Peter Mitchell of the 16th in the Portuguese Open last year. He made 4 twos. Maybe a little omen there. Just giving himself a chance to recover and make a par on 7.
And Warren was telling you that Mark Farry, the best putter this week, away with his other shots from time to time, but this for a 2. This is the man who started on Thursday, eagle, triple bogey, birdie.
Yes, not only does he lead the putting stats per round, but also the number of putts he holds once he hits the green in regulation. And that's a pretty good putting stat because he's only hitting 2/3 of the green, so he's sort of averaging sort of 12 greens around, and 6 of those he's holding putts for birdies. Pretty good average.
Farry to 16 under alongside Per Hansen. They haven't really done anything wrong, but of course Miguel Angel Jimenez now 4 under for his final round, racing to 23 under. And we talked all week long a winning score, 20, 21 under par, and for everybody else that would have been a reasonable expectation. And the low winning score of the year so far, 20 under from Paul Lawrie, so just shows you how well Jimenez is playing. So this is a must make for Johansson, you feel. Well, there are plenty of players out on the course who are scoring well, but of course nobody is scoring better than Miguel Angel Jimenez. Rafael Jacquelin's had the best morning so far of the leaders, but even so for Jimenez, Imperial at the 6, 4 twos, leads by 6. Welcome back to Malaga, where the sun is trying to work its way through the clouds. A little warmer now, and Miguel Angel Jimenez on the 7th tee, 6 clear. It's a wide fairway, around about 50 yards, but that has gone left, and we may have a tournament now. Out of bounds, you can see these sticks, and he may well be reloading.
A strange decision in many respects for he meant to take a driver on the last hole.
Per Hansen on the 8th, drive away. This is how he likes to play the hole.
On 8, you got a bunker about 290, and downwind you probably hit 3-wood or just like a high driver. Leave yourself a sandwich and very birdable hole as well.
And there it is, that bunker on the left, really, that's by the side of the 9th green, shouldn't come into play, although Olazabal drove into there on day 2, a wild snap hook. So Johansson won't know it, but there is real drama behind it on the 7th. The question is Miguel Angel Jimenez the leader by 6, out of bounds off the tee? Well, certainly he's playing a second provisional ball.
Going with the same club, driver again.
friends and family lending support, but it's the first problem of the day for the leader.
I find it absolutely astonishing that he played this hole aggressively. This is probably the last potentially dangerous hole he had to play all day long. Could have hit a 7-iron off the tee. I know that's exaggerating a little bit, but once this hole's finished, there really aren't any danger holes at all.
Can you confirm he's out of bounds?
Absolutely, yes, he is out of bounds.
We saw Roger Winchester do that yesterday. Him, of course, has a 6-shot cushion. And Jacqueline could perhaps close the gap to 5. This is to reach the turn in 29, which Jimenez himself did yesterday and Frederick Lincoln did earlier. But he will be out in 30, going well. Just in the clubhouse now, 66 for Freddie Jacobsen. It's not plain sailing out there for everybody. Sam Torrance, disappointing final round 74.
I wonder how long it'll take for the news to get to Johansson that Jimenez is in trouble. They only need a glimmer of hope, these players, to give them a little bit of confidence that the leading man is suffering with a bit of pressure. And of course it can give them such a fillip that they go on and make a bundle of birdies.
Well, Tim Barter is out there with this penultimate group, and Per-Ulrik Johansson is drying his hands, probably trying to settle himself. Is he first away, Tim?
Yes, Steve, he will be first away. He's just driven into the right-hand rough, which is not ideal today. The flag on the right side of the green on the upper level, as a diagonal tier divides it in two. And the position that Bear lies in means he's got to come over a gaping front bunker. And only about 9 yards of green to work with. Wind coming from the right and helping as well. So everything really against him, but only 105 yards to go. He's got a very bare lie, actually, which will help him get quite a lot of spin on the ball, despite being in the semi-rough. So he's just looking to flight this and land it a yard or so on the green. One good hop forward and then some spin.
He's at 16 under. Steve Webster managed to hold that putt to save his par, having been bunkered on the left side of the 7th green. And there was a par at 7 also for Alex Jacob.
Usually tell if a player is playing well and timing it well by the fact that they can control the distance that they hit the ball. And that one a little long by Johansson, probably just highlighting the fact that he's not quite on 100% form for him.
That was Farry from 159 yards. Both Farry and Garrido just hitting an iron off the tee like most players this week.
Again, this is one of these pins they've tucked away almost around the corner.
Jimenez hit his second driver so far that he's actually got a good chance to save bogey on this hole. Left himself 123 yards.
Good shot, but a little long. But I think that tee shot might disturb Jimenez, because normally if he misses a shot with a driver, he misses it right, and the fact that the ball's gone left might just unnerve him a little bit. Not one of Alex makes his best pitch shots.
Good angle for Webster.
Young man with a lot of experience on the bag with his caddy, Scotty Gilmore. Make quite a good double act, these two.
It's the way that the 8th is played. Again, it's one of those holes where you would expect, or I think this is a birdie chance. As I say, Miguel Angel Jimenez has managed it 3 days out of 3 so far. And Steve Webster the best chance of this trio.
Per Johansson just off that back left corner of the green. He and caddy Max working out exactly how much break this one's going to have. Quite an awkward one, putting just up the tee, breaking left to right consistently. But if you get it the wrong side of the ridge, it could make you look rather silly. New putter for Per this week, and he said it's feeling much more comfortable. He's been really struggling with the short club. Took 31 putts average in Dubai, 32 in Qatar. And this week down in 29, so definitely improving.
Of course, they won't have seen any changes to the leaderboards yet, Tim, but are they aware that something might have happened behind?
Yes, they are. Had a little chat with me as I walked up, and I told Max, the caddy of Per Johansson, what was going on behind, so he's aware, certainly.
What a problem for Miguel Angel Jimenez. It's really his first setback of the week, but what a year it was for Miguel last year. 4th on the Volvo Order of Merit, won over £500,000, and Darren Clark's not the only man on tour who drives the Flying Horse. First win of the year came at Santa Ponsa. Painful kidney stones and was taking injections to relieve the pain. But in a Spanish showdown, it was Miguel who came out on top. And that is majestic last to the last. Up the hill, Santa Ponsa. No heroics needed. His 3rd win on the European Tour. It was a terrific performance, but in all fairness, against a fairly average field, but you couldn't say that. As Sam Nom, all the stars were there. He needed to get up and down to win the trophy long comp. And this was the Cannon's shot of the year. And a bit of the prize money went on the motor. He may have a bit more spending money to fill it up with petrol after this, but there are problems for Miguel Angel Jimenez. He's putting for 5 at the 7th hole, and he's quite a long way from the cup. The drama's perhaps only just beginning. This is the way it looks. 16 under, Ignacio Garrido, 2 birdies, hasn't dropped the shot so far. Mark Farry playing also in the final 3 ball. And the best putter this week, Steve Webster, playing pretty well on the front 9 for the first time this week. But boy, he's played well on the back 9. Yeah, Hansen a couple of birdies, but hasn't dropped the shot. But he needs to make his move. Jacqueline to the turn in 30 and in 2nd place. But Miguel Angel Jimenez at 23 under when he walked onto the 7th tee. Now, if you're with us before the break, you know that he hooked down to bounds. His 2nd long, his 4th to here. And this for bogey 5.
And he was on the walk pretty quickly. He knew that didn't come off the blade as he would have liked. So still got a bit of a testy one for a double bogey 6.
So can Steve Webster take advantage, playing just a hole ahead. This for 3 at the 8th.
He had a good tee shot to open up, a good view of the hole. Nice approach shot, an even better putt.
So Webster 3 under for this front nine so far. Jacqueline out in 30 with a par at the ninth. Missed to get to 18 under. Well, he's had 3 or 4 of those. So time to regroup, and Jimenez made his 6, par with the second ball, 3 off the tee, of course. And the lead is trimmed to 4, Jacqueline and Webster in hot pursuit.
Well, this 8th hole is a birdie chance, and he's just hit a wonderful tee shot.
And of course, Miguel has made a 3 here every day so far. It's one of his banker holes, and you feel that he does need a birdie again. It's still a commanding lead. You just wonder how the mindset is, how quickly he can put that wayward tee shot, the 7th, out of his mind.
...217 yards, the 11th hole playing today. Good long iron, and Jacqueline, well, right on line. Must have looked very good to him in the air. And surprisingly, this hole not yielding too many birdies, just 22, playing over the par of 3, and 4th hardest hole on the course. Short holes pretty good here, but a chance on the back nine. There are 3 par 5s, so plenty of opportunities for the players to make birdies, make eagles. We saw plenty of those yesterday afternoon.
And once again, the Mediterranean, a mill pond, though it's a little choppy out there yesterday. But overall conditions have been very kind for the players. Now Johansson for a birdie 2.
Yes, 8th hole playing 213 yards and paired a lovely 3-iron into 25 feet, putting uphill. Very slight break from right to left.
Got it. Out in 32, 3rd birdie, hasn't dropped a shot. And now there are 3 on 17 under, just 4 behind. And one of those 3 you feel sure is going to make a burst somewhere.
Listen, that will have been spotted by Jimenez. The holes run side by side, so he would have looked across, and that's not the man you want to see chasing you.
No, a proven winner. The other 2 haven't won on the European Tour, but Johansson knows what it's like going into the back nine. Now, Steve Webster's had a problem. Obviously missed the green.
Yes, Steve, just pulled his tee shot a fraction, got mixed up with a left-hand bunker, or the bank of it thereof. Ended up with a very difficult lie, sat on top of about 2.5-inch Kikuyu. Very difficult to guarantee the sort of strike that he'd get off such a severe upslope with the ball sitting on top of the turf, and sadly semi-duffed it to here. So this is an important putt for Steve. Good birdie at the last hole, this to save par. Very little break in it.
That is a really good save by Steve Webster. Keeps his momentum going. He's dropped 1 shot on that front nine. He couldn't afford to drop 2. And really feel perhaps that he was still in the hunt.
Just go back a moment or 2. This was Chaker's tee shot at 9.
Really is very strong with the long irons. Oh, what a classy shot.
But you're still not 100% confidence on the putts, and can't win if you miss those.
I'm surprised perhaps he hasn't taken a leap out of Colin Montgomery's book and go and see a putting guru, perhaps a Dave Peltz, and perhaps get his putting sorted out.
Or even a Dennis Hutchinson, who's here working for our colleagues at the Golf Channel, and who is 67 today and still going strong, 5 under par. Happy birthday, Hutch.
In Dennis's day, he used to knock these stiff all the time.
Still does.
He is very good from this distance. Miguel waiting for yet another plane to take off. Early this morning they were actually coming in over the sea, but the wind changed direction. They're going out to sea. 112 yards, the pin over on the right hand side, just tucked over a little tier.
perfect again. May have been just a temporary blip. Now that going out to sea, look you.
Not the ideal lie that Garrido wanted coming into the short par 4. He didn't play that with any great deal of authority. Almost tried to steer that one on line.
I'm not sure if you could say Mark Farry is unfortunate or not. He knew the bunker was there, 288 yards off the tee. It's not easy, this one, not lying very well at all. It's difficult to know exactly how the ball's going to come out. Only has 90 yards to the flag. This one's going to come out fairly low.
That's a cracking shot. Probably would have preferred to have been playing a fuller shot. A little bit unlucky that it got a firm bounce, maybe just because of the downslope out of the bunker. Much harder shot in some respects from 40 or 50 yards, where you'd have to sort of almost hit a half shot.
Jacqueline's tee shot 11 was right at the pin. So coming up the green, needs to swing a little bit more pace, and might have been there. And it's the time of the tournament when you've got to get putts up to the hole, past the hole.
Well, Per will love to be in the thick of it, but coming into the back 9. But he won't like that shot at all. Hooked it away into this left bunker. Not really where he wanted to be. The flag is back left as well, so it'll make it quite difficult for him to get it anywhere near the hole. And you'd have to say that was an unforced error.
Steve Webster, not a big man, but he gets a wide arc, and that's where he generates that speed from. Long hitter.
Little bit of movement from the left for Garrido. Very good at this type of shot.
Saw him play plenty of those little chip and runs in the Ryder Cup. More importantly, he played some wonderful shots on the last hole when the pressure was at its greatest.
It's the way he played last year. You think, well, I perhaps won't make the team for Brookline, but he's 39th in the points table, and if he has a good season, he's still not out of the running by any means. This man's 40th in the Ryder Cup points table.
Pretty good shot for both of these players, working hard to save par. Jimenez has a good chance for the birdie, and of course he'll be looking for a quick reply after the double bogey.
Well, there are the points table. What they do, they take the Euro prize money divided by 100 and a pinch of salt, and there you are, the table. Now that means that Jimenez will get some 800 points if he does win today, which will take him above Westwood and Clark, who missed the cut here. Monty, you would say 5,000, 5,500 would make the team, so he's effectively already in. Looking for points today, Alex Chaker as well. But Jimenez, who on a couple of occasions has been so close to making the team. I mean, he was not that far away when he was vice captain to Seve Valderrama.
Much break here, Parky?
Just a fraction from the right.
So for the first time, fails to make 3 and 8.
Yes, and from that distance, missed it comprehensively. Not one of his better reads. And going towards a tough 9th hole.
Well, there will be an award at the end of the year for Rookie of the Year, and with the start this young Swedish player has made, Christopher Hannell, a 65 today, he may well be a candidate for the Sir Henry Cotton Trophy. Good finish to the tournament, and at the moment of 13 under, a share of 12th place. But Miguel Angel Jimenez still leads, but that advantage has been trimmed to just 4 shots. Question mark or 2? Well, welcome back to the final round of the Turespaña Masters, Open Andalucía, and here's a postcard from Spain. Hasn't been quite like this week. Rained on Thursday, it rained overnight, but for golf it's been ideal. If you've managed to tear yourself away from the golf course, well, plenty of distractions. Only an hour or so away up into the mountains, and they've been World Championship skiing. But on the Paradors Malaga golf course, we've had world-class golf from the European Tour. And can this Turespaña Masters trophy stay in Spanish hands for a 4th year running? Greedo, as we're saying, not had the best of times on the par 3s. Although he did get up and down out of the bunker at 6 to save his par. And that's a little better, just coming up a fraction short.
Gary Orr on the 11th, or out in 33. 2 birdies on the 1st and 3rd. All pars since then. Good long iron today, this par 3. Oh, cracking shot. Hello. Oh! Well, he did turn away. Every time you see a player, they're all focused on the flag.
Well, it was smart the card up. Would have put Gary into a share of 2nd place.
I thought Jimenez was close on the 1st, nearly making an albatross. That was nearly an eagle.
And here he is, the leader, but only by 4. That's the closest it's been for a while.
He missed the green right yesterday and has just dragged it off the left edge of the green, but that should be okay.
But signs perhaps that he's just feeling the pressure. Now the 10th hole, Per Ulrike Hansen wasn't in the best of positions off the tee, but quite a good recovery, Tim.
Yes, an excellent recovery, Steve, from just about 120 yards with a wedge. His flag cut very tight to the left edge, and Per hooked his tee shot, as he has done 5 times out of 7 today, off the tee. When aiming at the fairway, he's managed to hook it off into the left-hand rough, so work to do on his long game, that's for sure. Alex Chaker actually hit into 7 feet here, and has putted already and made his birdie, so after a high-quality second, he had to putt first. Per now with a very straightforward putt back up the hill. Very little break in it at all, and this for a birdie. Take him to 18 under.
And the gap's 3. And there are a few Swedes on the Costa del Sol. Hansen 40 minutes away, living in Marbella. Now look at that, and Steve Webster's still got a birdie chance to come.
Just a little hop or 2, but it held its line just inside that right edge of the hole, and he'll be really buoyed up by that.
Now Steve Webster, the 3rd member in this trio, has played this 9 holes in 14 under par for the week so far. If he can do it again, maybe get to in 32, he's not going to be far away, Tim.
Certainly isn't, Steve. He's got an excellent opportunity here, a splendid second shot in. Just 2.5 feet away. Scotty Gilmore calling for quiet. What an asset Scotty is. I agree with Warren completely. He's got a tremendous relationship with Steve. So much experience, 63 wins Scotty's had around the world, 11 of those with Greg Norman. And he's very, very good for this young man. If he doesn't win today, he's going to win very soon.
But it might be today. He too to 18 under. You see, and suddenly Jimenez only leads by 3. Webster tied second last year in the German Open. So the key may be the par 5s. 3 of them to come on the back 9. The 12th, the longest hole on the course, but 14 and 16 very reachable in 2.
You can see the par 3s playing over the par 3 there, and the 4s just fractionally, but the 5s, well, they're almost 4.5 holes. They are reachable. The 12th is the longest of the 3 of them, but playing down breeze. So all these players will be thinking birdies and eagles, and of course you can leapfrog enormous number of players with a good 2 or 3 holes on the back 9.
Well, that's interesting. Didn't get on, but only with an iron. It does mean that the 12th is within range today.
Yes, quite a steep slope at the front of the green. A little bit of inexperience maybe there by Jacqueline, but he's still holding it together.
It's a bit of breeze getting up, but I don't think it's a real factor. What club will this 3-ball? What club will Per Ulrich be using here, Tim?
Well, the hole playing 217 yards, Steve. What breeze there is coming off the sea, so from his right, slightly helping. Green a firm one here and feeds very heavily from right to left, so with the flag just 4 yards from the left edge, these players will be looking to pitch the ball more towards the middle of the green, let it feed down. So 4 iron for Per. Should do the job just about perfectly.
Has he pulled the iron shots as well as the drives today, Tim?
No, he hasn't up to this point, Warren, but Steve Webster has. Steve fades the ball into the flag, and every time he's gone at a left flag, he's been in the left bunker, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on here.
Be good.
This could be very close indeed. Just didn't hop on as Gary Orrs did. Gary, by the way, didn't make the 2. Had to settle for a 3 after nearly holding his tee shot.
So no problems with the iron clubs for Johansson. I wonder whether the par 5s might find him out with the driver. Important to hit the fairways there.
We go back to the final group, who've fallen a hole behind now. So you would say, Tim, this is a key shot for Steve Webster. If he's going to win this tournament, he's got to put this on the green.
Yes, Steve. I say he likes to fade the ball into the flags, and this is not a flag you can do that to. There's a left bunker just 5 yards left of the pin. So I think we'll see Steve just play safely to the heart of the green, attack the flags that suit his game, and leave the ones that don't alone.
Now release, baby. Go, lad. Go. Go. Go on.
Not a bad shot at all.
He did drag it into the left bunker yesterday, so learning from that. So 2 good shots.
It's strange, yesterday the hardest green to hit was the 6th, and the second hardest this 11th hole. But the percentage of sand saves, impressive.
Exactly as you'd expect from Jacob, following the other 2. 3 very fine quality irons.
Long range putt for Garrido at 9. You can see, although he's not on the putting surface, you go and go Jimenez the closest of the 3. That was just a second or 2 ago. No problems for Garrido making his part. But a little chip for Miguel. Not going with the putter this time, Phil.
It's very important he gets up and down. The field closing up on him. 3 holes ago it looked like this tournament was his, and now it's crucial he gets up and down.
Surprising he played that with such a lofted iron. Sometimes you can squeeze those a little bit hard and find they shoot on. He just undercooked it, so left himself one of those. And as you get a little bit more tense with the game, that's where you can get real problems. He'll want to play a few holes nicely now to regain his composure. He's putting himself under pressure.
Trouble is, on normal circumstances, you could play nicely, reel off the pars, but if he does that, there are going to be others going at him, making birdies and just bouncing along. So, has to make this one. Read on this one, Phil?
Not much, just got to favour that the ball's going to go a little bit to the right. But on a fairly short putt like this, there shouldn't be much movement.
What's he saying about bouncing along? And suddenly Miguel has got the blues. Double bogey par, bogey. And the early good work undone, the lead just 2. Now there was a time a year or 2 ago when you wondered if Miguel's temperament was a touch suspect. He's mostly banished that over the last couple of years or so, particularly last season, but it's going to be a test, the back 9. It's the old cliche, the tournament doesn't start to the back 9 Sunday. It's come true again. The lead just 2 now, out in 34. And of course, there is a chance, Tim Barter, for all 2 of these players, Webster and for Johansson, to cut that lead to a mere 1 shot.
Yes, there is, Steve, but this not a putt they can have a rush at. Big swinger from right to left, and very much downhill, particularly after the hole. Steve characteristically doesn't have a practice swing. Just assesses the line of the putt, puts the putter behind it, and pulls the trigger.
It's going to come down to the par 5s, you feel, where Webster is a long hitter. Johansson was really launching it yesterday.
Yes, Steve Webster, as we know, is one of the longest hitters, 4th last year ranked on the tour, 283 yards. And my only criticism of Steve is just sometimes he tries to go after one and hit one a little bit further. He did one down the 3rd today and pushed it off into the right-hand rough. If he can keep it smooth, they're all in range. He doesn't need to push.
Of course, for Alex Jager, he's got to get the putter going. Easier said than done. He's still 5 behind. And there was no real confidence in that stroke.
It must be very dispiriting for him, because if you keep hitting greens as often as he does and keep hitting them closely and you keep missing, eventually it gets very wearing. And of course it's a testament to the way he's played this year. Hardly been outside the top dozen or so in every event he's played in. But what would he have done if he could have just popped a few in?
But I wonder, Tim, Johansson, he's back in the frame again. You know, he's had that winning feeling before. It's been a while, but surely he lives for moments like these.
Yes, Steve Pear is certainly one of the strongest mentally on the tour. You don't play in 2 winning Ryder Cup teams, World Cup team, Dunhill Cup team. He's been on the winning side in all of those. 5 wins on the European Tour. Very, very mentally tough. And although he has been out of the enclosure for a long time, he's given a chance, he'll take it.
I don't think he was too convincing, yet at the end it almost wandered into the hole.
Remember when he won his first event in Belgium, he holed up from the front of the 17th green with about 6 foot of swing, and it must have been all of 60 feet. And it went in like a bullet. He nearly leapt in the air. Long par 4 to finish with, and well, he wrapped it up with a par. Very convincing first win.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of par 3s here, and there's a situation, the added pressure for Jimenez is by the time they're a hole behind now, by the time he steps onto this tee, of course, Webster and Johansson might be getting even closer at the par 5 12.
Yes, and Jimenez really hit a wild tee shot on 12 yesterday, carved it into the trees right. And I wonder whether that might play in his mind. But anyway, lots of things can happen. It's all very exciting.
That's what we can say for sure, is that we have a golf tournament on our hands now. This is Jacqueline, his third shot at the 12th.
A lot of green to work with. Keeping his composure, but a little bit shy. Starting to get a little edgy, maybe.
Jimenez got a nice one away here on 10.
Well, living just down the road, no doubt that he's the local favourite. The crowd are trying to lift their man. That sometimes can add to the pressure.
Well, the approach prop was a few moments ago. Back live now with the birdie attempt for the Frenchman on 12. Say, what a birdie for him to make.
Three of them now at 18 under, just two behind. And when you think of the putts that Jacqueline's just missed, so not too many on the beach, most are on the golf course now. Just looking across the bay. You can see the score, 66 players, 65 pros, the one amateur, making it through the cut at 3 under. Johansson perhaps getting that feeling, trying to, he knows how important this is, he knows he has a real chance. Now we saw yesterday, Tim, he was going across on 1 or 2 shots across to the left-hand side of the teeing box. He's done that again. What's going through his mind now?
Well, Steve, this 12th hole, as we said, is the longest of the par 5s, 544 yards. Wind helping and coming from the left-hand side. When a player tees up in the left side of the box, it basically means they're seeing a big, hard draw. And that's the shot that goes furthest, and it's pair's favourite, so he's going to be looking to start this one down the right half of the fairway and sling it from right to left and get some forward momentum once it hits the ground. Hit a beautiful tee shot here yesterday, but then a poor second left him short right of the green.
Teed the ball up pretty high. Just goes with that high slinging hook shot.
Has played the front 9 particularly well. He's only 4 under for the back 9 to date this week, or in the first 3 rounds. He has to put that right. And that's a beautiful drive. Now just behind the 12th green, 13th tee.
176 yards today, the 13th. 3 from the left-hand side. And another wonderful shot by Rafael.
Came off the Challenge Tour. This man won the tour score and then had to go back and won his car back again. Looks to have gone a long way left, Tim.
Certainly set off that way, Steve. And it's bounced back and looks as though it may have come back just into the semi. As I suspected, he's just gone after it that little bit too much. He's been driving the ball beautifully, but just pushes on these par 5s and can come a cropper when he does.
Time for Scotty Gilmore maybe to have a quiet but firm word. Well, Shaker must be thinking eagle here. Needs something spectacular to get him back into this tournament. He's not finished lower than 13th all year long. And again, maybe guilty of just pressing too hard. He knows he's so close so often.
Big test now for Jimenez to calm the storm here. He must feel not an easy pin. Means that he may be a little bit off balance. And again, well, that tempo has just deserted him now. This is quite astonishing. 2 bunkers on the left-hand side. I think he's found the back one. We'll get confirmation of that from Phil Parkin in a moment. But, well, the wheels are starting to come off for Miguel Angel Jimenez, who looks so relaxed and so confident and played so well until 7. They all come down to the par 5s, and of course Miguel's misfortunes have opened the door to a number of other players. And Frederick Lingen, the halfway leader, has just made a birdie at 16. He's at 16 under, probably too many ahead of him, but he's 8 under for today's round. Johansson, who is 4 under for his final round, and got a good drive away, the best of the 3. Quite a contrast in perhaps their mental process at the moment. Johansson going along quite nicely, really enjoying it. Jimenez now starting to worry and maybe just tensing up a little. Just highlighting the fact, those stats of how the hole plays, and well, 100 birdies, 4 eagles. That gives you a pretty clear indication that for the likes of these players, these leaders, they're certainly looking to make 4s or 3s.
And a sense of the gallery with Johansson and co has grown over the last half hour or so. But this is the leader, and I think he's in the bunker. What sort of lie, Phil?
The ball's lying very nicely, but he's got a really awkward stance. Has to stay very still on this one.
Now remember, he's been in 2 bunkers this week, got it up and down twice. Can he do it a 3rd time? He can go one better.
That will settle the nerves. And that's a roar that everybody else in the course will hear, and it's a Spanish roar, and they will know exactly what it means. He's back, a 3-shot lead. What an important shot for Jimenez.
Can you believe it? What a time to do it. What an awkward shot. But didn't he play it well? Well, he holed it off the green, as we've shown about the Lancombe, to win that event. This could be another shot of the tournament. Stayed down to it beautifully, got the club underneath the ball. Beautiful soft explosion.
Don't know what the question was, but he had the answer. Well, close would have done. A reassuring 4. Perfect pace to the hole. Houlet. But there must still be a doubt or 2.
We saw the tee shot for Jacquelin. And that shot off tape. Now, you may have heard the roar as he struck the putt. That was the bunker shot going in for Jimenez. I wonder whether that just spoiled his concentration. A long way away. It is 550 yards or so from where Jimenez was playing, but it was a pretty big roar.
Now Steve Webster in the semi-rough, but I wonder, Tim, how far back he is. Did his shot lose length because it was a little wayward? Can he get on in 2?
Yes, it lost about 25 yards in length, Steve, because it clattered into the tree on the left-hand side and deflected back into the semi-rough. Ball's not lying brilliantly. His feet are a little bit below it. He's got 252 yards the front. The flag's on 19, so 271 in total. But Dan Breeze, he can certainly chase it very close, if not on, from here. But the green's still busy, so he's going to wait.
Some good scores today. 67s for Miles Tunnicliffe, G. Milka Singh, Miguel Angel Martin and Barry Lane. So what a display from the members of the European Tour. And of course, not the hardest they're going to play all year, but still the golf has been spectacular.
Farry seemed to do everything right on the 10th, but he's going to walk off with a par. Lose a little more ground to his playing partner. Very jovial character.
Steve Webster hasn't made an eagle this week.
Green's still busy.
And you can see Tim just telling us that the green's still occupied ahead, so that's why he's waiting, that's why he's discussing. Well, there we are, the impetuosity of youth. I'll give it a rip.
Well, there is a little bit of room, even if he should go right. Doesn't want to go right, that's not the side to miss it, but if you are going to give it a bit of a welt, odds on it's going to hook a little.
Not to connect with that one very well. Fisher's kick on, actually, on the down slope. Roars of approval from the crowd. Has that gone left again? Oh, it has, and there's water down there, and it may be that the spectators save Miguel there.
I think the same as you, Steve. I think the spectators stopped it going in the water.
Inadvertently as well, they were just trying to get out of the way and slightly out of the eye line, but that's a lucky break for the Spaniard. His game, although he holed that bunker shot, his game is not at its best. There's 254 yards now for Johansson. Great angle as well for the Swede coming in at the 12th. 3 wood, look for the high fade.
Not an easy shot to hit when he's been pulling some of his longer clubs.
That's probably it, just on the front. They just crept onto the front. You know, I hadn't considered the water on this hole previously this week. That's how left he was.
And, well, we've seen a number of players in that back trap. That's the obvious one as he tried to hit it a little bit harder, but, well, Jimenez actually pitched it onto this bank, headed down towards the water. Pretty poor pull. There's a lot of room away on this right-hand side if he wanted to bail out. Certainly with the breeze on that side, he could move it in from right to left. But of course, in his own mind, he misses a lot of shots right normally. And I think it's just the tension in the swing that's making it go the other way. And once you start to have error both sides, it's very hard to play golf. So he's going to certainly have a struggle now over these back 9 holes.
The crowd certainly did him a favour. I think you can tell we're in Spain. He's left himself a really tight lie, hasn't got much green to work with. But if he clips it nicely, he should be able to get lots of spin, and he is pitching back into the wind. So if he plays it nicely, he can still save par.
A really lucky break, and big galleries here. I mean, people were trying to get out of the way. No suggestion at all that the spectators were doing anything untoward. It's possible that over the closing holes you can make a move. And look at Richard Boxall. Didn't know until Wednesday he was in this tournament. An eagle at 14, a birdie at 15, 15 under, and on his way hopefully to at least a top 10 finish after making his first check of the year last week at Penina. Good round from Richard Boxall. So it's all happening. You can't take your eyes off the screen. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are, because Miguel Angel Jimenez is struggling. The pack closing in. to be fair, Miguel Angel Jimenez never expected this to be a walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon, and it's turning out that way. Second shot at the 11th, wayward, way left, lucky not to be in the water. Pretty good pitch, he may get away with a par, but he's left himself that length of putt, similar to the one he missed at 9. He's at 21 under. At the moment, 3 shots clear of Jacqueline, Johansson and Webster. And of course, Johansson and Webster still in pretty good shape on the par 5 12th. I tell you that Webster has chipped up, and Tim, he's pretty close. You could almost concede the birdie.
Yes, he played a delightful little chip down. Looks to me, from my perspective, to be no more than a couple of feet away, so he's almost certain to be moving to 19 under. Johansson now has an eagle putt from just off the edge of the green. This would take him to 20. Uphill putt. Very slow, actually, this one of the slowest on the green. And braking reasonably heavily from right to left, so not an easy one, but should be a comfortable 2-putt, and one never knows.
Off the green, but flag out. Bobbled halfway, took the pace off it, but should be safely in for a 4 in a moment. This is Frederick Lindgren, second to 18. He's 8 under for today's round, and ruining that third round 675. Maybe ruining the lie there as well.
Could only have had a poor lie to play a shot like that, so he'll be a little bit disappointed. Good par 4 though to finish, hardest ranked hole throughout the 4 rounds, so.
Well, with tee shot 11 for Mark Farry as well, this to say par. Well done, that will give a little encouragement to Miguel Jimenez as well.
I don't know, some people would say it might make the hole smaller. Somebody's already holed it.
Lindgren's third to 18. Hasn't dropped the shot so far this round.
And what a difference at the end of the week to the beginning of the week. That ball getting an enormous amount of spin.
Very important stage for Jimenez. Left himself fairly straight putt though, up the hill. This to save par.
Well done. Got away with that.
Yes, and he started back 3-3, but he's not done it in the most convincing of manners, that's for sure.
So he steps onto the 12th tee and head on the green. Janssen just too bold on that. He will stay at 18 under, but a real chance gone. I wonder if that, well, it's too early to say just yet, but maybe his opportunity to win has gone with that short putt.
Well, we know that Pear's not been putting brilliantly well over the last 12 months or so, but had seemed to recover the form. When the pressure's on, that's when these problems can re-emerge. Steve Webster just tapping in, so he's made his birdie, and now within 2 of the leader.
So Alex Jaker only made a par, remains at 15 under. Well, Jimenez has got the 12th to come. It is reachable in 2, but as Warren was saying a little earlier, he did hit a wayward tee shot. It was the first fairway he missed, and he only missed 2 all round in that 62. And of course, there must be 1 or 2 question marks in his mind. Phil Parkin's there. What would you be doing now, Phil, to make sure you hit the fairway with this one?
You just got to think of all the good shots you've hit all week. Think positive. Trust yourself, trust your swing.
Rhythm looks a little quicker, Phil.
Can't blame him though, can you? It's a beaut. It's absolute beaut.
Well, didn't get the best of kicks, though. A little unlucky there, and while he was lucky at the last hole, that may preclude him getting on in two. Just depends what it's behind.
Can't keep the Frenchman down. Another chance to get a birdie, get within two. And this is some performance from Rafael. 7 under for the round now.
I wonder if he's unafraid to win. One thing's for sure, Steve Webster feels he's a winner in waiting, Tim. He won't be afraid. He's going to give it a go.
Yes, I just hope he can curb his aggression just a little bit here at this 13th, the par 3. The flag just 3 from the left. You mustn't miss left. We've talked about Steve liking to fade the ball. He mustn't get overly aggressive here.
Well, he has missed it left, but not by much. He'll still have a chance to make the birdie, but he took it on. That was a brave shot.
Ingram for a 64, which wouldn't be his career low round. Still a very good round. And overall, back on tour from the Challenge Tour, he's had a good week, leading in the clubhouse, and at the moment good enough for a share of 5th place overall.
What a way to come back, though, after the disappointment. That showed also courage from Lindgren. Would have been so easy for him to fall away. Now can Johansson show a bit of courage as well? He knows that that was such a big chance on the previous hole. He's let it slip. What he can't do is get silly now or lose heart. Got to stay focused. Got to keep thinking about winning.
.176 with a 5-iron for pair. Hole location suits his game better.
And this is where a caddy will, or a good caddy will prove invaluable, trying to keep his man calm when he'll feel the wheels are coming off.
Chance to look at the swing of Rafael Jacquelin.
Good address position. Look at that nice straight back. Keeps his height. And a very good line to the swing. There's not much to go wrong with that. Another one that finds the centre of the fairway. I think we're going to hear a lot more from Rafael Jacquelin in the future. Certainly a star in the making.
And he shares 2nd place at the moment. Richard Boxall going well, a 64 for Frederick Lindgren. And Steve Webster and Rafael Jacquelin into 2nd place. And still question marks for Miguel Angel Jimenez. He's used 2 of his get-out-of-jail cards. The tower blocks of Torremolinos looking down on the Parador Malaga Golf Club, the oldest course in mainland Spain. And the home fans hoping for a 4th successive Spanish winner, and for Miguel Angel Jimenez to defend his title, but he's leading by 2 at the moment. And he didn't get the best of breaks at the par 5 12 for an excellent looking tee shot, but the final outcome not too good, Phil Parkin.
No, he's not lying very well. The trees are affecting his backswing. He can't do his usual backswing. Has to try and pick the club up fairly steeply. He's hoping to get within 100 yards of the green. If he does that, he's played a great shot.
Not easy for him, this, because he takes it on the inside so much. Suddenly he's picked it up. Very difficult. And now he's missed it on the wrong side. And while off that loose sand with a pin cut on the right, that's another tough shot coming up.
Well, he can stand a 5 par, but of course his rivals picking up shots here, Jacqueline and Webster. So as the plane takes off from Malaga, can Steve Webster take off in his challenge for a first European Tour win?
Well, he and Scotty have certainly gone to work harder on this than any other putt to date. Flag just 3 from the left edge, and Steve's a couple of yards off the green, so only 15 feet or so. Up the fringe grasses, which will throw the ball from right to left slightly. Once it gets on the green, it goes back the other way.
Staying aggressive, he gave that a real go. Good to see young man take the challenge on.
Now Richard Boxall looking for top 10 finish. A good size check this for birdie at the par 5 16th. So he'll stay at 15 under and sharing 7th place at the moment with Thomas Gergler, Gary Orr, Alex Jaker and Mark Farree.
Well, just before Steve Webster played, Johansson, who'd missed the green left, tried to chip it, replaying it onto the bank, trying to let it to run just over the hill, and the wheels are beginning to come off.
It surprises me a little bit, but perhaps the fact that he hasn't been in contention for so long, still mentally a little rusty.
So Johansson now with this absolutely vital putt. 2 par 5 still to come, a couple of under birdieable holes, so Pair will know if he can knock this in and stay within 3 of Jimenez. He's still very much in the event, but a bogey following a 3-putt at the last, not what he wants. Uphill, breaking just an inch from left to right outside the hole.
That kind of epitomising his season so far. He can play some really nice golf and then suddenly out of the blue just drop a shot and loses a little momentum, almost like he loses concentration. Not so much a problem with his game, but just losing the art of scoring.
Well, the leader's back at 12. Third shot to this par 5. And over there on the right, you can bag a bad lie, or you could get lucky. What's the story, Phil?
He's on sand. He's left himself some really tough ones over the last couple of holes, but he's come up with the goods, but this is the toughest one yet. He's done it again.
Well, he played that one like a bunker shot, slid the club underneath the ball, didn't try to pick it off clean. And from 30 yards or so, that's a pretty good shot, but it's not close for the birdie.
Sheckland then 2nd to 15.
Like a lot of the holes today, pin at the back of the green, 4 from the left, making it awkward for the players to really get up to the hole.
And Garrido's 3rd shot at 12 out of the bunker. All these players on the fringes, you just need something special to happen. If he could get lucky and hold this one, then who knows, but it
From that lie?
He'd have to get very lucky, I know. Well, he's very good.
Yes, it's a tough shot, though, because the flag cut at the back part of the green with the ball so far below him. I'm surprised he's taking such a wide stance. That tends to cut down your movement and feel. Very awkward lie. Well, very unlucky there. Played that really quite beautifully, but got a very hard bounce. And of course, coming down the breeze didn't help. Just having one of those days. Hasn't made a birdie since the 4th hole. And because of that lie, a little bit on the downslope. Watch as he comes into the ball, how his body almost goes down as he plays down the slope. Picks the club up pretty steep. Now, look, almost bending the knees to guarantee that he stays down on the shot. That's another one that you can't learn from the textbooks.
Well, he didn't waste too much time on that one, so he decided on the line. Confident stroke. Good 3.
Young nerves, you see.
Jacqueline for... but it's an outside chance of birdie at 15.
Into the green for 3/4 of the way up the hill. Oh.
I tell you, this could be, or could have been, a very, very special round. He's had 4 or 5 now that have just stayed out.
What's good about it is managing to control his composure. He knows that after a good front 9, he's built on that on the back 9. He's made a couple of birdies. He's going to a par 5 now. He's never been in this position before, and he's coping with it really well.
So can the putter come to the rescue again for Jimenez? This is for a birdie.
Well, probably not surprising, leaving it short. Quickish putt coming back down the hill. But like Johansson, has lost an opportunity.
Of course, he's been missing shots away to the left, and the tee shot he's got to come at 13 is not the one you choose. And he can't really afford to play safe. Others are making birdies, although he's got 14 and 16 to come. And he's managed a birdie at 14 every day, and a couple of birdies and an eagle at 16 so far. So they're 2 confidence-building holes. Same line for Garrido. He's only made 2 birdies and hasn't made got onto the card since the 4th.
Well, that would have been pretty good for the sand save stats. He's been in 4 bunkers this week. He's got it up and down 3 out of the 4. So now it's 3 out of 5. But that was a particularly awkward lie for him. Farrie's putted pretty well all week, but faced with one of those that will turn from not very far. Always hard to hit it or hole a putt when you're hitting it outside of the hole or on the edge of the hole from this sort of distance.
Different pressures for different players. Exemption for winning the BMW ran out the end of last year, so he needs to take advantage of the good weeks, get the checks as big as he can. Doesn't want to be under pressure in the second half of the season when it comes to considering retaining his card. Mark Farrie to 16 under then. And Thomas Gergler also to 16 under with a birdie at 16. So a par for Miguel Angel Jimenez. He remains at 21 under. So let's take a look at those who might be in contention. Thomas Gergler just getting to 16 under with that birdie at 16, sharing 5th place with Ignacio Garrido. And Gary Orr. Gary Orr's just made a birdie at 14 to get to 16 under. And Fredrik Lindgren with the best round of the day so far is 64. At 17 under, but perhaps his chance is gone. Per-Ulrik Johansson. Steve Webster at 19 under and in aggressive mode. Alongside Rafael Jacquelin, if he can make an eagle at 16, who knows. And it's not been plain sailing for Miguel Angel Jimenez. He's 21 under. One or two problems out there, and this tournament's not over. Best round of the day so far, though, from Freddie Lindgren at 64. He's talking to Andrew Castle.
Yes, a round of 64. You remember Freddie was 11 under par going into the weekend. Yesterday, no good. Today, much better.
Yeah, no, I was a bit nervous in the beginning of yesterday's round, and my tempo was a little bit too quick, and I tried to slow it down, so I slowed down the backswing, and then I hurried up my downswing. It wasn't very good.
A swing of 2 halves yesterday?
Yeah, it was terrible, and I couldn't find a way to get out of it.
But in a tie now for 5th position, you don't think that's going to last too long with the likes of Thomas Gergler and Gary Orr, Farry, Garrido out there still?
No, I mean, I think I'll do good to be in the top 10 when the day is over, because they got all the par 5s left, or not all, but some of them, and they're very birdieable.
Nice start, eh? Eagle par birdie out in 29, and a nice finish as well, up and down from 80 yards.
Yeah, I hit a bad drive on the last hole, and I sort of chopped it out of a hole and got it up and down. It was nice.
You made a good point just a moment ago that Johansson has a couple of par 5s ahead of him, even though he's disappointed with that 4 at the 13th. But Miguel Angel Jimenez, it's not a walk in the park for him today.
Oh no, I mean definitely. You know, if you those par 5s, they're like long par 4s. I mean, they're easy to make 5 on. And whereas the guys who are attacking and trying to catch him, they can also make 3. So anything can happen.
Back into the trees after the long 12th. For the par 3 13th, Jimenez on the tee, 2 clear. What club did you hit into here, Freddie?
Yeah, for me it was a 6-iron. The green is kind of soft where the flag is, so I think it'll be all right.
A few trees around there, quite well bunkered. Where's that pin? Comes into...
His sort of short left. And I don't think Miguel Angel likes that, because the wind is left to right and he likes to hit a bit of a cut. So, I mean, that shot was expected.
Now, the par 5 16th, Rafael Jacquelin. We'll just let him get his tee shot away. Didn't start off right, did it?
No, I think he normally hits a draw.
Oops. That's no good. I was going to say, what's the second shot here today, but I think he might have to be quite sensible on that par 5.
Yeah. If he'd gone far enough right, he might have a chance to hook it around, because 16 you don't have to worry so much about the water, but it has to be lucky.
This is the first of the 2 remaining par 5s for Per-Ulrik.
He's hit a good drive, he needs to get this close.
You've been sharing with all the Swedes, haven't you? Christopher Hanel staying with you this week locally, around a 65 for him as we look at Garrido, playing in the last group, of course, with Mark Farry and Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Looks like he hit a knockdown 6-iron there. He's quite a strong player.
When things start going wrong, as they have done for Jimenez today, when the tournament is his at the start of play, but you've still got to go out there and do it, how do you get yourself back on rhythm? Webster second into this 14th.
Well, for me, obviously, it was a problem yesterday. I mean, it's all about experience, and having been in that. It's a lovely shot. Having been in that position many times, I think Miguel Angel has a few different things he can try to get him into sort of like an attacking mode again.
And now Webster has a putt to join him at 21 under par. This is good, this, isn't it? I hope you get a big check.
Yes, I hope so too. I mean, very good for the Easter vacation.
Yeah. A quick word on Jacquelin, because I know you were at Q School in '96, Challenge Tour in '97 with him, an improving swing, and you played with him the first 2 rounds. Is he good?
Yeah, he's very good. I mean, he's got a lovely swing. He can hit any shots, and the first 2 days he didn't putt very well, but he was still 7 or 8 under, I don't know. But I mean, he's a very good player, so he can. I mean, now he's got a bit of a difficult second shot on 16, but I mean, he can still make birdie, he can still win it. It's all happening out there. Freddie, best of. Thank you very much indeed. You've got to go and pack now and get out of here tonight, right? Back home to London. We'll all be on that flight later on. Back to you, Steve. Good tournament.
And there's plenty of action to go before then, though, isn't there? Steve Webster on that 14th with an eagle chance. and the opportunity to catch Miguel Angel Jimenez. And Jimenez, understandably, playing safe at 13, but not quite on the putting surface. It's not a walk in the park, is it? Jimenez will have to dig deep if he will come through, but he still has that vital 2-shot cushion. Miguel Angel Jimenez has a 2-shot lead over Rafael Jacquelin and Steve Webster going down the stretch in the Turespaña Masters Open Andalusia. And remember, he started the day with a 5-shot lead and started eagle par birdie. So he's coming back to the field. But of course, the two closest challengers, unproven, looking for their first win on the European Tour. The key, the par 5s, 14 and 16. Now, Per-Ulrik Johansson has already chipped up from the front of the green and is reasonably close, but this is Steve Webster. A putt for eagle and a putt to tie the lead.
Fair bit of swing from left to right. And a little bit quick near the hole. And, well, the important thing for Steve is that he's made the birdie, so he's getting closer to Jimenez.
Jacquelin coming up short of the 16th. Remember, his tee shot was wayward away to the right, could only play for position, and if he only walks off here with a 5, his chance is probably gone. Now, big problems at 13 for Garrido. Remember, he came up just short with his tee shot, and they're second into the bunker, and he's playing four-field parking.
Yeah, he almost quit on that chip shot that he duffed into the trap. Big backswing and quit on it, but this to save for a bogey. Oh, that's the end of Garrido, you would think.
Yeah, double back to 14 under. No way back from there.
So no chance of winning now for Garrido, but he's got to take the positives through to the next tournament. At least it's a change of direction for him.
Johansson for his birdie here at 14. Downhill, breaking a little left to right.
The par 5s have killed him.
Jimenez found the front right-hand corner, lagged his putt up just a couple of feet away, so this to tidy things up, but never a formality.
And there's Mrs. Jimenez. She enjoyed that one rather more than a couple of the previous holes. The lead has been trimmed to 1, but now it's Miguel's turn at 14. And to really put him under pressure over the next 2-3 holes, somebody's got to get in front of him. Steve Webster in second place, tapping in for that birdie at 14. Jacquelin, though, a long way from the hole in 3 on the 16th green. Webster's had a really good season so far. He's made every cut. And of course, finished tied 3rd behind Ernie Els at Houghton in the Alfred Dunhill South African PGA.
Yes, and well, whatever happens here is going to pick up some more Ryder Cup points. 19th on the table at the moment. Now this would be a real injection of adrenaline in the system if he should pop this one in. Been in trouble off the tee, wasn't able to quite get it up to the back of the green. Again, another pin, the back part of the green. Oh, it looks good. Oh.
How many of those has he had? He's got the pace under control. Everyone having a chance of going in.
And remember, his lowest round on the European Tour, 67, so even more in uncharted territory. He's not used to shooting this low or being up in top of the leaderboard, but so close. Came close a couple of years ago with the Novotel Perrier with Remesi. Got the feeling of winning, but this is different. He's on his own this time. There's a natural goal swing, if you ever saw one. Really free-flowing, lovely to watch.
First came to our attention with the silver medal display in the Open Championship at St Andrews when he took that prize off one Gordon Sherry, one Tiger Woods.
Stay quiet, please.
And away into the trees on the right, and it's the end. I'm afraid there, Ulrich Johansson's chances are sinking to the bottom of the deep blue sea. Plenty of players are making progress, not on the first page of the leaderboard, but they've had good rounds today. See John Bickerton again having a good week, tied 11th at the moment. Richard Boxall with a par at 17. Yanko Cabrera's finished. Alex Jaker, not the week he was hoping for. Roger Chapman started out with high hopes. He's had a good week overall. 68 for Stephen Field, out first this morning. Too many bogeys, I'm afraid, for Ian Garbutt. Plenty of birdies. And Garrido's chances going with that double at 13. Thomas Gergler up into the top 10 at the moment. And they say that Soren Hansen from Simon's Club hits the ball even further than Steve Webster. 73 for Mark James. And around a 67 for Barry Lane. Bob May, he's up into the top 10 again, no surprise there. Could it be 6 out of 8? He's had such a good start to the season, as indeed has this man, Steve Webster. Disappointing weekend for Mark Pilkington, who played well in the first 2 rounds. Well, Clearos, the amateur critical performance, and Sergio Garcia missed the cut by 1. Jeev Singh, 67 to close. Sam Torrance, 74. 67 for Tunnicliffe. Another good performance from Anthony Wall. And Webster, I wonder. It's a very important hour to come for the young man from Coventry, just 23. And the one thing we've learned, or I've learned, Warren, I don't know if you're the same, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, when these young players get a chance, mentally they're tough enough. There was a time when they might have got frightened, but the main problem with Steve Webster is to stop him being too aggressive.
Yes, and of course they get so much more opportunity to play. They play many parts around the world now, different courses, different conditions, and they have to be good these days to be able to compete. The scoring is so much better, and of course it's making them mentally tougher as well.
Here's Richard Boxall, he's 15 under. It's for an outside chance of birdie at 18, and I'll be talking to him last week. He remembers when he was a young amateur and he never used to miss putts. He said, used to ram them at the hole, and they said, what about the ones you missed the 4-footers back? And he said, well, what 4-footers? And he said, it was all about them now. Plays down at the Trevose Golf Club these days, down there in Cornwall.
Difficult to leave this dead from such a long way away. I'm just feeling the heat a little. Didn't birdie the 16th. Certainly won't want to finish with a 5 at the last, so that's going to be an important putt for Richard.
little wayward from Mark Farry off the tee. Could have done with being 50 yards further right.
It's uncanny, for every time we cross you, a plane takes off.
Should be able to get this within 120 yards of the green. Played it very nicely.
Now the big question is, where is Miguel Jimenez? You can tell us, Phil.
Well, you can walk onto this 14th tee and you can take a couple of deep breaths because it's fairly wide fairway. Jimenez hit a lovely tee shot. Left himself 215 yards to go. Fairly big target, but if you're wayward, there's water left and there's water right, so he's still got to hit a good one.
Quite interesting to see whether he gets the club at the top of the swing cross-lined. If it points to a little bit of the right of the target, watch out, the ball may go right. If he gets it on line, it should start straight.
Into the bunker. Not much sand in there, but that's into the face. It could be problems.
Not the way he plays bunker shots.
No, I suppose not. This is the easiest green. I mean, you are in real trouble if you miss this in 3. And has yielded 15 eagles so far. Jimenez would settle for birdie number 191.
So much easier to play these par 5s if you have an iron in your hand. And even so, not able to force it up the green for Garrido.
Yeah, Hansen hit his tee shot miles right here at 15. Has only managed to punch it out down the fairway, some 90 yards short of the green. Steve Webster's hit an absolutely perfect tee shot, right centre of the fairway. Ideally sets up now to attack the flag if he chooses to do so. 144 yards to go, wind off the left-hand side. And as I say, he can't draw his irons into this left to right wind, not his favourite shot, so right edge of the flag, probably the best option.
It's coming up short. If he's going to win this tournament, it's probably not going to be the par 5 that does it for him. Either here, 17 or 18, he's got to make a couple of birdies. Rafael Jacquelin duly 2-putted the 16th, only a 5. Almost like a shot dropped, so he definitely needs a spectacular finish.
Just a wedge in his hand. And that's not bad. Got it within birdie range, below the hole. Doing all the right things.
So Richard Boxall dropping a shot at the last. 3-putt from long range at 14 under. Jimenez leading by 1 from Webster outside. Chance for a 3 at 15 for the Englishman. Again, John Bickerton having a good week. Useful week also for Roger Winchester. But we're going down the stretch. Jimenez, who led by 5, has seen that advantage trimmed to 1. Welcome back to Malaga, where Miguel Angel Jimenez under real pressure. 3rd shot, par 5, 14th. The lie is okay. Remember, he holed a bunker shot at 10, but he really is putting the pressure on himself. Just 1 ahead of Steve Webster. Be looking to get up and down in. Oh my goodness! Well, that's the 2nd time he's got out of jail holding a bunker shot, an eagle, and suddenly leads by 3. And well, what can you say? He's going to win this surely. And Steve Webster will have heard the roar. He knows something special has happened, and he may know he's playing for 2nd.
Very good putt from the front of the green. But this is a really good performance from Steve Webster. He hasn't broken 70 in the last round of a tournament this year. He has had a few 65s in his time. But when you need it, he's putting together a pretty good round.
He's done nothing wrong, but Miguel Jimenez, we talk about Seve Ballesteros, the master of the great escapes, the short game, but perhaps on current form, Miguel Jimenez is the best player in Spain. It's a vintage Seve-like performance this afternoon.
Mind you, don't go thinking that Steve Webster can't eagle the 16th and get a couple back, and of course that will throw the pressure back on Jimenez, but you would think now he must have got over the, well, shaky part of the round where he double bogeyed the 7th, dropped a shot of 9.
Yes, you say the lie he had in the bunker at 14, he would have expected to get up and down in 2 and make at least the birdie and lead by 2. Sadly, over the last half hour or so, Ulrich Hansen's chances have receded and almost slipped away, and this one is for par, trouble off the tee. And if he doesn't make this, then mathematically there's virtually no way back.
No, and of course what's a real problem for the likes of Johansson and even Garrido is to take these knocks. They love to get themselves in a position to win here, and when they then don't go on and produce the goods over the last 9 holes, of course it takes time to recover from that. They get a bit of a bruising mentally.
17, Jacqueline for birdie.
He just missed on the left on the previous hole. That one just missing by a hair on the right of the hole.
Seven birdies and no drop shots. Very tidy card.
But going towards the toughest hole on the course, 18, ranked the hardest, so he's got one more good hole to play.
Well, Phil Parkin's seen some golf in his life, and I don't think you've seen too many rounds like this, Phil.
After today, I definitely believe in destiny. I think it's just meant to be. We're in Spain, we have a Spaniard, he's defending champion, blitz in the field. Whenever they get close to him, just holds bunker shots. It's just meant to be. That was a nice rhythm on that one.
Yeah, perhaps Miguel himself, you're sensing it's meant to be when he holds a shot like he does at the last. Maybe that's the way he's thinking as well.
Well, he looked very composed on this tee shot, and Warren noticed his tempo getting quicker earlier on, but that was a pure swing he put on that one.
And Mark Farry only made a par at 14, the par 5. He's at 16 under. Final tee shot for the Frenchman. Parakeets squawking away in the trees just up there, and they came out of a shipwreck in the bay at Malaga, and they escaped and established a colony here and flourished ever since.
It's not where Jacqueline wanted to be on 18, but up ahead on the green. German player has a chance to finish with a birdie if he hits it.
68 for Thomas Gergler in the clubhouse with 15 under to his name.
Stevie Webster, par 5, 16th.
Oh, just cut.
Started down the left, there's a bunker there.
Welcome back to Malaga, the closing stages of the Turespaña Masters, Open Andalucía. And if Coventry's Steve Webster is to have any chance at all of catching the leader, Miguel Angel Jimenez, he has to make this for birdie at 16. He's 20 under par, 3 shots behind the Spaniard, defending champion, playing a hole behind. Rafael Jacquelin leading in the clubhouse at 19 under after a round of 65. So Webster also looking to hang on with second place. Oh, well, it really couldn't be any closer. But just a par 5, the problem coming off the tee into the bunker, couldn't get on in 2.
Seen an enormous number of birdies this week and lots of putts holed, but the putts seem to have dried up over the back 9. But again, that's not surprising. Payday Sunday.
He's almost there. What a 4 days we've had. And Sunday hasn't disappointed. 5-shot lead for Miguel Angel Jimenez at the start of the day. Rafael Jacquelin put in a charge, 4 birdies to start. He reached the turn in 30, a birdie at 12, 1 more to follow, and a round of 65.
Steve Webster looking for his first European Tour win. That was a lovely touch. His second birdie on the back 9.
He reached the turn in 32. And at 14, again a reachable par 5. Eagle chance, didn't take it, but a birdie.
Johansson out in 32, the birdie on 10, but then things started to dry up. A drop shot on 13, a drop shot on 15.
So the day has belonged to Miguel Angel Jimenez, perhaps not in the way he might have imagined. Drop shot at the 9th after a double, driving out of bounds at the 7th to the turn in 34.
How about this for a bunker shot on the 10th? Difficult spot, not a great deal of room to work with. And that was the impetus to start his back 9, a birdie on 10.
He got lucky at 11. Tee shot headed for the water, hit a spectator. And he got up and down for his 3 pars at 12 and 13. Second shot at 14 into sand again. It's a walk on the beach.
Second shot to the 15th. And the balance and the rhythm was back for Jimenez. A good drive. Lovely iron shot. Not able to convert, but he's remaining at 23 under for the week, 4 under for the round.
So Mark Farey in the last group at 16 under. Same mark for Johansson, who would have hoped to do better today. He's rather wilted on the back 9. Freddie Ingram won't worry too much about his closing 64. The 75 yesterday was a pity. And the leader in the clubhouse, Rafael Jacquelin, his lowest round on tour, for sure his best finish. First top 10. And Steve Webster perhaps sights set on second place now. Because it's destiny. Miguel Angel Jimenez almost there. Will be the first man to defend a trophy since Per Oraki Hansen at the K Club a couple of years ago. So can he put the icing on the cake? Second shot to 16. Beautiful. Don't see too many of those. A wooden wood. .230 yards into the breeze, sweet strike. He's probably disappointed he's not in sand.
365 yards, the 17th. I think just a 3-wood for Steve Webster, not being suckered into taking the driver and trying to give it a belt down the right-hand side. Well, that's the way it's played. It's yielded 65 birdies so far. 24 bogeys, just the one double bogey. And quite possible that Steve Webster thought, well, second place will do if I can't win. Five, 5, 5, the last 3 holes for Johansson. And a little bit of a disappointing finish, going the same way as fellow Ryder Cup player Garrido. You see that Miguel Angel Jimenez is 31st in the Volvo Order of Merit, and by my calculations won't get quite into the top 10, but he'll be pretty close. More significantly, he will go to 2nd in the Ryder Cup points table. Bob May, tied 10th at the moment. May just take him above Ernie Els. That will be touch and go, but again, the consistent season for the man from Nevada continues. And John Bickerton has finished with a round of 69. He's at 14 under, tied for 10th, along with Boxall and May and Winchester and Garbutt at the moment. But David Howe looks as if he's going to stay at number 1 despite missing the cut here. Yes, I don't think Bob May is going to earn quite enough to get ahead of Els, so he'll probably stay in the same spot. But it's all good money earned. Good move by Jimenez, that is for sure.
And Steve Webster, he's 26 in the money list at the moment.
He's had 1 second already in that German Open last year. So this is just going to confirm his ability. That 3rd place finish in South Africa earlier on in the season. No fluke by any manner or means. Here is a quality player.
And here's Sandine, 104, and if it spins back, could be very close. Well, we have to just guard against eventualities. If he could finish birdie, it may not be over just yet.
Johansson just 98 yards to go with a sand wedge also. Good course management there from Steve. 3-wood, leaving himself a sand wedge he knew he could put some spin on. As we walked down the previous fairway, the 16th to par 5, Steve looked across at me and said, "The big roar at 13, had he chucked the big bird at me?" I said, "Sadly not, it's an eagle out of the bunker." And his eyes just went skyward and a big broad grin came across his face.
It's a Sunday afternoon, busy time in Spain. Malaga Airport, coming and goings.
Jimenez with another chance for eagle. Who knows what's happening so far? This could go in. Not much break on this putt.
Good pace on this one. Right by the whole side. Only a birdie. We'll take him to 24 under. The lead is 4. And Everything, composure, swing, tempo, everything back in the right place. Phil, can't have been easy for Ignacio Garrido and Mark Farey to have to stand and watch some outrageous golf really from Miguel.
It's been great for me to watch, but like you say, it's difficult for another competitor to see what's happening. He's been putting fantastically, this for an eagle.
You see, this will get Mark into 4th place at the moment.
It's so hard to make them when you really want them at the death of the tournament, which just makes it all the more remarkable. The 2 bunker shots that Jimenez hold. I mean, such is the fine line between winning and losing.
Now, late flourish from Alex Jaker. He's birdied 15 and 16. And he's got himself to 16 under. And Tim's there. Have you noticed any difference in the putting stroke, Tim?
Not really, Steve. He's held nothing of any consequence at all. He's missed 9 times from inside 12 feet, and that's today alone.
Actually, you're probably thinking before I cue Tim Barton, I'm actually giving planes clearance for takeoff. It's just there are so many of them. So the birdie run ends for Alex Jaker, with chances for Johansson and for Steve Webster.
Yes, Johansson's got a putt up the hill. Breaks quite significantly left to right. As Warren said on a couple of occasions, the grain very strong in this green, the strongest of any on the course, and it runs from left to right across Pear's putt, and pretty much straight into Steve Webster's. Pear still going through all of his normal preparation. Never hits a shot until he's absolutely ready to do so, therefore one of the slightly slower players on the tour. Lines up the logo with the ball. With the line he intends to start the putt. Gets the putter face square to the logo.
One or two other completed scores, a 71 for Roger Chapman. He's at 13 under. Hasn't been his afternoon. Mark Farey tapped in for a birdie at 16. That's taken him into 4th place at 17 under. And this is how the champion-elect likes to play this 17th hole.
Hole number 17 is you have the choice to hit 2 clubs driver to the narrow place. That is, I don't recommend that one because then you are very close of the hole and the green is quite solid and then it's tough to stop the ball. It's better to hit like a 2-iron or 3-iron to have a full wedge and then stop easy the ball. So I think it's the key for this hole.
Well, you may not recommend hitting the driver, but when you have a 4-shot lead, perhaps you can take a chance just running through the fairway, but that's okay.
Because he did give that information to us at the start of the week when the greens were very firm. Of course, we've had a lot of rain since then over 3 nights, so they have softened up. So getting nearer to the hole is not so much of a problem.
Well, Richard Boxall and co just hanging on to 10th place. Ian Garbutt's finished with a 71. Roger Winchester a 70. They're all at 14 under. In the clubhouse, well, it's been a good day for Rafael Jacquelin, 3rd at the moment. Steve Webster 2nd. But Miguel Jimenez for the lead. It's a lovely sunny afternoon on the Costa del Sol, and the Spanish crowds have turned out to watch Miguel Angel Jimenez win the Turespaña Masters. He hasn't disappointed. Now, Steve Webster, that was why you're away. That was for birdie at 17. He got the 4, but of course now needs a par at the last, difficult last, to hold on to second place. Jimenez at 24 under. Alex Chaker at 16 under, tee shot at 18. So the title surely is Miguel's for the second year running. But Steve Webster could have made the 18th a lot easier for himself.
Yes, in terms of finishing second on his own.
That's worth about 55,500 euro, which roughly translated is the best part of 40 grand.
39,678.
I knew you were going to do that.
Still staying aggressive, gave that a firm hit off the last hole, and that's fine down the right-hand side.
It looks a bit tight, but that's probably best part of middle of the fairway.
Yeah, it's a long way. We know what happened to Jacqueline. He ran out of fairway by going left. You do have to manoeuvre it left to right, so a good tee shot by Steve.
Now Mark Farry, the second shot to 17, fourth at the moment. Important that he gets a bigger check as he can, Phil.
Left himself with a nice big wedge, 130 yards downwind. Little story here, Steve. If he one-putts the last 2 greens, he'll have 99 putts for the week, which is something very special to break 100 putts for a week.
Well, he's set himself up for a good chance on 17. Very good approach shot. And of course, he'll be feeling edgy anyway because he'll want a good week. You know, remember, 6 was his best finish last year. He's lying 4th at the moment. So he doesn't often get into the top 10, Mark Farry. He'll want to make use of it.
It's a lovely stat there. I wonder how many times we've seen a player break 100 putts for a 72-hole tournament. But then this week has had something for everyone. Whole bunker shots, birdies, eagles galore. It's been Costa del Sol spectacular.
Johansson on the 18th. He's hit a few shots left today.
Yeah.
Well, then he will look at his performance and know that he's not that far away from something like his best. You can see how this whole dog legs, he's made the middle of the fairway, 16 under Johansson, but he really hasn't taken advantage of this back nine in the way that other players have. See, the second hardest hole on the course, and he was saying where I'm playing probably is the hardest today.
Yeah, certainly a very good hole, the 18th. But now Garrido's must be also disappointed. Remember, 73, 63, 66. He was starting to get the feeling of putting some good numbers together, and well, he's just let things get on top of him on this back nine.
If he were to finish birdie though, he could disappoint a lot of players. He would go above those in 10th place, and just to run through them as Ignacio lines up. 14 under, good enough for a share of 10th, and on that mark in the clubhouse, Bob May, Richard Boxall, John Bickerton, Roger Winchester, Ian Garbett, Christopher Hanover, 65, Rolf Muntz, Roger Chapman and Ricardo Gonzalez.
Hard to get the thinking back, though, on an even keel once you've been bothered by bogeys.
No, it hasn't been a good back nine for Ignacio. Still waiting for his first birdie. So Phil's down there. Miguel hasn't been putting that well, has he? I know on occasions he hasn't needed to, but yesterday he was holding all of these.
Well, actually, I know he shot a great score yesterday, but he also missed a few as well. This isn't the easiest putt to read. This is fairly straight. You would think it would want to break from left to right. But yes, his scoring could have been a lot lower, actually. He's missed a few of these.
Well, he can afford to be generous, but this is a key shot for Steve Webster. Second to 18.
187 yards, the 5-iron. Started it on the flag, just drifting right edge of it. Lovely shot.
2 putts from there for second. Jimenez has already tapped in for his 4 at 17, and now Mark Farry for birdie. And of course, if he finishes with 2 single putts, the chances are that he will catch fellow countryman Rafael Jacqueline at 19 under and the share of third.
Has been a tough green to read this. Much movement here, Parky?
Just a little bit from the left, but not much.
Number 98 of the week. And this will be 99. He will need to hold a bunker shot to break the 100.
Happy, but just misses off the fringe and then holds it from 10 or 15 feet. He'll have to be accurate with the second shot, though.
I shouldn't think that's worrying him too much at the moment. So Garrido remains at 13 under, not quite so many at 14 under. A slight mistake. Hannah Muntz, Chapman and Gonzalez also at 13 under, sharing 15th place, which will increase the size of the check for those that are 14 under.
Medium iron for Johansson to 18, and that's not finished in a nice spot. It's going to be a very awkward lie.
Jimenez missed this green yesterday, but up and down out of the bunker for his low round on tour, and a course record 62. Just needs to pour here today for a round of 67.
Must have dreamt of this moment, though, of standing on the last with a nice comfortable lead, win in front of your home crowd, defend the title. That doesn't happen very often.
And in the meantime, have an invite from Augusta to the US Masters come through on your fax.
Just about the perfect week.
And then you drive home in a Ferrari. Can't get any better, can it, Steve?
Certainly not. Come on then, Miguel. One nice smooth swing on this one. Well, they've caught up these three as well. They were a clear hole adrift of the penultimate match. And up on the green, third shot for Johansson.
Must be something very special about the sand here. Wonderful shot from Johansson. But that's not where Farry wanted to go. Must be something that the French like over there, down on the left-hand side.
He's one shot clear in fourth place of Lindgren, Shaker and Johansson, and Johansson will make his 4 and will post a score of 16 under alongside Lindgren.
Big putt here though for Steve Webster. From such long range, he'll want to leave this dead if he can, not give himself anything to do to hole out.
He doesn't need to have a bolted it. 2 putts for a 4 in a round of 66. So Tim's there, and what would your recommendation be, Tim?
Well, there's very little break in this putt at all, Steve. It's actually straight back up the hill. The only difficulty is that, as we said all week, there's a little bit of grain in the greens, and it changes 2 or 3 times here. Starts off putting down grain, and then it comes across him, and then back down grain in the finish. So the speed of it's going to be more awkward than the line. The line's pretty straightforward.
Just about the hardest thing to do in golf, and you get a little bit of adrenaline in the system. Try to leave it dead from this sort of range. There's nothing almost to be gained by holing it.
And the difference, 14,000 euros, so about 10,000 pounds. Not quite close enough. It's been pretty convincing from that range so far this week, but that's probably the most important 4-footer he's faced.
Shaker, 2nd in Malaysia, 3rd in Portugal. A top 10 in the South African Open.
This will put the pressure right squarely on Mark Farry.
Once more, the caddy lining up the blade of the putter, just a fraction from right to left up the hill.
So that's a round of 69 for Alex Shaker, yet another top 10, sharing 5th place at the moment. But the story of what might have been, and perhaps the time to reflect and think, well, how can I get this putting better, as good as the rest of my game?
Doesn't waste much time over these putts. Normally, only be able to do it on the 18th when he needs it most.
Well done. Well done indeed. A 66 for the 23-year-old. For the 2nd time on tour. He's a runner-up, but no disgrace in that. He gave Miguel Angel Jimenez 1 or 2 anxious moments. Johansson taps in for his part, 70, shares 5th at the moment with Lindgren and Shaker. And there we are, an excellent performance from Steve Webster. 2nd place, his reward. 3rd place, Rafael Jacquelin. But the crown for the 2nd year running will be going to Miguel Angel Jimenez. Spain reigns again. And so we have it, the final hole of the Turespaña Masters Open Andalucía. And this is the man who, for the 2nd time running, will be getting his hands on the trophy. There, the family, Montserrat and Miguel Angel Jr. Not a bad present for Mother's Day. 24 under. And we'd love to see him finish it in style. He has richly entertained us all week long, and particularly this afternoon when it hasn't been plain sailing.
first Spanish player to win on tour last year was Jose Maria Olazabal in Dubai. Jimenez will be the first Spanish player to win this year. And no more delighted person.
We're living just 10 minutes away. He's got family and friends here. They're the prize money, €500,000. And that's the best part of £60,000. No doubt you'll tell me exactly how much it is, but it's a handy check. And richly deserved from Jimenez.
£59,521.
And into second place in the Ryder Cup points table. Crowd around the green. Well, I'm sure there'll be something a little stronger than that later on this evening to celebrate. Now, Phil Parkin's down there. Let's not forget Mark Farry and Ignacio Garrido. Remember that Farry needs a par here to hold on to fourth place on his own. The drive was a little way. What's been the story since then, Phil?
He was a little bit unfortunate. He didn't really have a shot. He tried to manufacture a shot and had to hook it around a tree, and he actually overhooked it. Did reasonably well to actually get this close.
I think he's going to need a drop there, isn't it? Is that a guide rope down from the scoreboard?
Yes, he'll get a free drop from there. Probably drop it just 2 or 3 feet in front of him. Then he'll have a nice little upslope which will help him get the ball in the air, which is what he needs to do. He hasn't got much green to work with.
Now the tournament director,
Miguel Viador. And it was interesting, at the start of the week I thought Jose Maria Olazabal might do well here, because he won round here as a boy. He won a Spanish amateur title, and the man he beat in the Spanish amateur was Miguel's brother, Alfonso. So quite a good family background in golf.
I would say revenge for the family Jimenez. Plenty of it. It's not easy when you're defending anyway. Not easy, even though you've got the support of friends and family from close by, but you've also got their expectations. And he's treated them. It's been good news for the tournament as well. It's helped swell the attendances. This is a lovely sunny afternoon as well, just what we hope for in the Costa del Sol.
Well, I hope he gets a good drop. I hope he can get something where they can get the club underneath the ball and get some height on it.
What a great performance from Stephen Webster in second place. And as Mark Farry prepares for his third shot, Tim Barter's with Stephen.
Steve, around a 66 today, 7 birdies. You knew that was the sort of score you were going to need. How does it feel now?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I set out last night hoping to shoot a 64. I thought to, get into contention, maybe win or maybe a playoff. But, you can't complain with 66 on the last day.
You must be very pleased with the way you handled the pressure. I mean, you finished second in a tie before at the German Open, but this is now your best finish.
Yeah, I mean, I felt good coming down the stretch. I was a little bit nervy, but as soon as I pulled my tee shot into the bunker on 15, I knew my chance was going a little bit. Plus, he held a bunker shot, I think, for eagle the hole before. So, that was the turning point, really. I needed to birdie 15.
How big an asset is Scotty on the bag? So much experience, and coming down the stretch like that, he must have helped a great deal.
Yeah, he was good, yeah. I mean, this is our 6th tournament, and I've made all 6 cuts. I've been playing really nice, so it's good to have the old boy on the bag.
Thanks very much, Steve. Good performance. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks. Cheers.
Yes, congratulations to Steve Webster. Now, Farry. What if he'd hold that? It would have been 99 putts.
100's not bad. He's going to tap that in.
Isn't it? Yeah, 25 average. And he's been around a long time. He will know the benefits of a good high finish early in the season. It does take some of the pressure off. And once that pressure's gone, who knows what's possible.
Yes, if he can pop that in, he'll get just under 18,000 for the week.
Euro or pounds?
Pounds.
Right.
25,000 euro.
Ignacio Garrido, who's rather missed the party, sadly. He's 3 over for this back 9. when he looks back, he might reflect that perhaps the par threes have cost him dear this week. He's 2 over par overall on the short holes. But it's a little tough when you set a course record of 63 and you only hold that course record for 24 hours. Of course, everybody would like to clear the stage for Jimenez. He's got a makeable birdie chance. I think Nacho, he shares 15th place at the moment. If he doesn't make this, he'll move into a share of 19th.
Yes, but he's got to look towards the positive. He's got to look towards that after the 73 in the first round, he came out, he did shoot a low number. He played reasonably well yesterday, not at his best, certainly not with the driver, but got round in 66. Had a chance today, but just fell away. And again, I just think he latched onto some negative thoughts. He can't afford to be negative here.
That's a round of 73 for Garrido. Now I think you may find Mark Farry. Yeah, nice touch. He's probably right to try and hold this one, because every chance that Miguel could tap in for birdie or hole for birdie. It's been that sort of week for the Spaniard. And then it would be pandemonium around the 18th. So in the relative calm, this for 4th place. Well done. 100 putts for the week. 69 to close for Marc-Antoine Farry. Now Phil Parkin, the final putt perhaps for Miguel Angel Jimenez. You've been following the fairways with the defending champion all weekend long. I bet you've enjoyed it.
Well, yesterday was probably the best golf I've ever seen. He's played very well today, only 1 or 2 loose shots. But like most Spaniards, when they need a bit of magic, he had it with those 2 bunker shots. And that's what separates him right now.
Well, Junior can't wait to get onto the 18th green. This then for a round of 66. He's going to have to settle for a 67. He won't mind one jot. And Miguel, it's almost time to get on, because the man who's arrived in style in a Ferrari each morning, Paradores Malaga, will leave in style with the trophy. It can go back on the mantelpiece for another 12 months. Miguel Angel Jimenez, for the 2nd year running, is still the Turespaña Masters Open Andalusian champion. Rounds of 69, 66, a spectacular 62, and a roller coaster 67. But when the magic was needed, the magician from Malaga produced.
Terrific performance from Jimenez, and well, look at young Junior. I don't know, he's not clutching hold of a golf shaft there. A couple of sticks, but he'll be swishing those away.
Start them on hickory. Well, it's a week that's had everything, really. Trip to the recorder's tent just to complete the paperwork. No, it's not going to give the sunglasses away. They give the hat, they give the glove, and maybe the ball. But over 4 days, in Malaga, it's the local man who's put his rivals into the shade. That's the lowest winning total of the year so far. Paul Lawrie 20 under in Qatar, 24 under for Miguel Angel Jimenez. In the end, he wins by 4. It was never quite that easy. But what an afternoon we've had. We'll be back for the coronation of the King of Malaga after the break. Welcome back to Malaga, where Miguel Angel Jimenez has won the Turespaña Masters Open Andalusia, defending the title that he won 12 months ago on the island of Mallorca. And how, with Torremolinos in the background, just a short drive each day to the club for the Spaniard. The expectations of family, friends and supporters seemingly not weighing on his shoulders. A majestic display, particularly in round 3, a course record 62. He's never shot lower on the European Tour. He goes second in the Ryder Cup points table, and he wins by 4 from Steve Webster. It's been a weekend where we've had everything. Most of all, though, we've had some spectacular golf, and a great deal of it has come from Miguel Angel Jimenez. I think a proud moment perhaps for Andrew Castle, really, from Pro-Am to presentation. He's been with the champion all the way.
Steve, thank you very much indeed. I'm joined by the president of Paradores, Francisco Bobadilla, Carlos Horno, Director General of Turespaña, and also by Francisco Jose Aguilar, Vice Consul of Tourism and Sport in Andalusia. And Mr. Jimenez is here as well. Now, somebody's going to present you with a cheque for €83,330. If you'd like to go ahead and make that presentation. Thank you. Which is just under £60,000. And the trophy as well, which we've become quite used to seeing you hold. Would you like to make the presentation? Thank you. 12 months ago, we were at Santa Ponsa 1, and you did this, a successful defense. Congratulations. I guess it was a bit of a nervy day today.
Thank you very much. I cannot defend any better than this.
It was superb.
Now it's a little bit, probably a little bit on the golf course, but at the end, the game is coming on now.
Did you have a spectator at the 11th in place for when you went long and left there, just kicking it back?
Yes, please put a wall there of people there, just in case the ball is going left there.
What more do you want? A happy family, win a tournament 10 minutes from where you live, an invitation to the Masters, and a successful defense. You are a greedy man.
Yeah, well, I like all.
I like all. And I've got a special presentation I want to make to you, and I'll just invite my my lovely assistant, Tim Barter, to come in here. This is from all of us on the Sky Sports team. This is Paradores sand, and you owe this place something, because you were holding bunker shots left, right and center, huh? Was that nice?
Thank you very much. To you, everybody, thank you very much.
Testing good. Testing very good. Miguel Angel Jimenez, Turespaña Masters champion once again. Many congratulations, and it was great playing with you the other day. I learned a great deal. Well done.
Thank you.
Just a trophy.
And so a worthy champion. Just look at those 4 rounds. Never ever came close, really, other than day 1 to 70, par 72, and it just really got better and better. The 62 around that everybody who saw it, and I hope you did, will long remember. And the 67 contained magical moments as well. Steve Webster can be proud of his effort. He was just beaten by a man who had most things going for him on the day. Rafael Jacquelin, his best ever finish on the European Tour. Look out for Jacquelin in the future. Mark Farrick has a lot to look back on with pride. 100 putts. That's pretty rare over 4 rounds. Bob May, yet another top 10. What's that? 6 out of 8 for the American. He takes a well-deserved break. But what a week it's been for us here in Andalusia. We've much enjoyed ourselves, and we salute our champion, Miguel Angel Jimenez. Back to you, Andrew Castle.
Steve, thanks. We've had a wonderful week here at Paradors. The golf course didn't play difficult for these fellas. We had dousing of rain and all the rest of it. But what a fantastic performance from Miguel Angel Jimenez. The European Tour arrived in Europe for the first time last week at Penina, the Portuguese Algarve Open. We saw a fourth first-time winner in Van Phillips, winning at the first playoff hole against a man whose time will surely come, John Bickerton. And we've come here, and I'm sure that Miguel Angel Jimenez is going to make a fine representative for Europe at the Masters. He got the invite, didn't he, just the other day at home, 11 o'clock on Friday night, and I think he's going to be in our Ryder Cup team as well. He was a lieutenant last time. This time he'll be a playing part of the team. He will let nobody down. A fine gentleman. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves here. The European Tour takes a week off now. Madeira Island Open is the next event on the European Tour in a couple of weeks' time. US Tour coverage continues. We've got the Honda Classic tonight, and that's going to be on Sky Sports 3 at 8 p.m. O'Meara is quite well placed there. But from all of us here on the Costa del Sol,
Sky Sports with Scottish Life, the pension company, bringing you winning performers.